Hi and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to be doing a spin-off of the Gamer's Notebook, which if you haven't seen that video yet, well there's first going to be a link over here, and then this is the notebook that I am talking about. One thing I did get was a few comments from people saying how they just didn't have enough table space for this particular style notebook, which is perfectly fine, that's understandable. So what I did is I went back to the drawing board, and instead of that big monstrosity, I made up this lovely little palm-sized mini notebook for those of you who want to have a really cool notebook for when you're at play, but won't take up the entire table on you. So stay tuned, I'm going to show you how to do this. And if you have any questions, just ask me down below, or you can email me at thecraftingmuse.email@gmail.com. Thanks so much, and I'll see you later. Bye! Supplies are listed in the description below. Links are provided whenever possible. To get started, you're going to want to get a hold of what is called craft foam, also known as EVA foam. Now, you have seen me use this in the Gamer's Notebook as well as the pouches and envelopes videos that I've done. In fact, I'm going to put a link up here for you for the Gamer's Notebook because you do want to know how to do the stitches that you see in that video coming up. Now, what you want to do first is, again, take that tin foil and you're going to add texture to the foam by using an iron and pressing it into the foam. After that, what you want to do is make sure you measure it up against your notebook, because what happens is after pressing the foam, it does tend to change its shape a little bit. So I do not recommend cutting it to fit the notebook until after you have pressed this foam. So looking at the dimensions of the notebook, you then want to make sure you cut out a strip that measures the length and the height that you'll need necessary to cover the notebook, as well as fold over the front and back covers of this particular notebook. Basically what you're going to do is create a sleeve that is going to fit over this mini notebook. Now, what's nice about the EVA foam is that when you fold it over, you actually will have a faint line left over to act as a marker for you, so you know where your lines are and everything like that. Then what you want to do is, once you have both the front and the back covers accounted for into the sleeves, you can take paper clips to hold this in place while you do a blanket stitch on both the top and the bottom of this cover. And again, you want to make sure that you take a look at the Gamer's Notebook because it is a very detailed video showing you how to do this stitch, but I'm just letting you know that this is the same stitch I used for the mini notebook. When you have everything sewn up, I do recommend that you do a test fit of the mini notebook in the sleeve just to be sure everything works, that you can slide it into the cover, and that you can also close it. Do make sure you do a closed test fit before moving on and adding all these embellishments, because you might be kicking yourself later if you don't. The first extra detail I added was just my initial. Now, this is something that is completely up to you if you want to put something on the front cover. You could always default going back to doing sort of a Celtic knot design or some sort of detail on the corners. This is giving you some freedom to choose what you want to put on the cover itself. You can even do the back cover as well. Once you get your cover design finished and established, you're then going to want to add on the closure feature for this notebook. For the closure on this particular notebook, you are going to want some more of that craft foam, EVA foam, and what I used was a 1/2 inch strip of this foam that I had left over in a different color. You can use the same color that you already have if you don't have any extra colors around. That's perfectly fine. You're also going to want the E6000 glue as well as a pair of scissors. The first thing you want to do is establish your front part of the closure, and for that you're going to cut a strip that's about 1 inch in length, and you're going to put a dab of the E6000 on either end of this strip and then carefully place it onto the front cover about the center towards the edge. You want to make sure that you don't press this down too firmly and smush glue everywhere and making it so that the whole thing is covered in glue. You want to keep it so that the glue stays on either end, because what's going to happen is you're going to create a thin strip that's going to go through and under it from the back cover. To make the back strip, you're going to take that same strip of 1/2 inch EVA foam, craft foam, and you're going to want to cut it so it's about 4 inches long. And then what I did is on one side I just gave it a slanted edge cut just to give it some visual interest, and also because that piece is what's going to feed through and under that loop that you just created, makes it a little bit easier to feed through that way. Once you have that piece cut, kind of the same idea but on the back cover, you're going to want to put a dab of that E6000 glue on the straight edge side of the strip, and then with the notebook cover closed so you can see that front latch area, you're going to place that strip in the middle so that you know you're going to have enough clearance to feed that strip through the front side. Allow these to dry a little bit before putting some extra weight on them just for a little bit longer, just to make sure that glue really sets but doesn't move around too much on you. Once you know the glue is dry, you can take off your heavier weighted objects, take the cover, put the notebook back in, and then test fit the latch to make sure that this works so that you can feed the one strip through the other and it'll hold the notebook closed securely. To give it its final look, what I did is I found these great rivets that aren't rivets in the fabric section of a craft store, and you're going to want 3 of these. You can place 2 on the front latch area and 1 on the back latch area. This just kind of gives it a finished look. The other thing you could do for this strip, if you so choose, is you can also texture it with the tin foil. I decided just to keep it the way it comes, as a more smooth suede-like effect. That was personal choice. You can do what you want to. The cool thing about this mini notebook cover is that when you get it onto the notebook, you end up with these 2 little side pouches, one on the front and one on the back cover, where you could slide things in there like cards or little bits of post-it notes if you need to. This is a more compact style so that you as a player can bring this with you and take notes and not have a lot of space get taken up on you at the table. And here we have our final look at this mini notebook that I've created after people were commenting how the gamer's notebook is great, but some people just don't have that table space at their table when it's time to play games. So this is something that can work really well for players. Like I said before, it could even work well for DMs who are on the go. It's a really quick and easy project, especially once you've gotten that blanket stitched down, because it takes maybe about 20 minutes to pull this together all said and done. So I hope this is something you've enjoyed. Any questions, please, as always, feel free to contact me. You can comment below, or you can email me at thecraftingmuse.email@gmail.com. If you've liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to subscribe, you're welcome to do that as well. Thanks so much for joining me, and have a great day. Special thanks to Matthew Mercer for becoming a channel champion on my Patreon page. Today's video is going to show you something of a... I'm really not getting this today. I bet you missed the bloopers, didn't you? She's back! God help me. I had it all planned out and my brain just went... Alright, forget it. My shirt says... Being a person is too complicated. Time to be a unicorn. That's what it says. Being. That's the rest of it says. Being a person is too complicated. Time to be a unicorn. Ta-da! I'm gonna do something that's a spin-off from the... Forgot. The spin-off from the something or other. That thing I did, you know, a couple months back. The thing? Yeah, the thing. You know the thing I'm talking about. That's the thing that this video is going to be about. That's the thing.